Hi everybody, it's Refresh, and I am here to take a look at Arcane Tinmen's board game card sleeves, size medium. These are for cards measuring up to 57 by 89 millimeters, and if we look on the back, it says that they are for games like A Game of Thrones, Munchkin, and Ticket to Ride Europe. It also comes with a little frame that you can use to see if your cards will fit inside. So what I have here are some Mythos cards from Eldritch Horror, and we'll see if they fit. They do fit inside the frame, so these will be what we use to test with. The sleeves are clear, and you can get one package of these for $4.99. A package contains 100 sleeves, and that will average approximately 5 cents per sleeve at MSRP. Let's take a look at what we have inside. Taking a look at the sleeves, it seems as though they are clear and semi-glossy, or I guess we can call that matte finish. Let's see what the relative thickness is. We have 100 sleeves at 1.6 centimeters. That is approximately 160 microns per sleeve, or 80 microns per face. Let's check the dimensions. We have 59 millimeters wide by 93 millimeters tall. Now let's see how one of these cards fits. It looks like it's a pretty snug fit on the sides. There's just a tiny bit of play, not really enough to make the card seem loose, but there is a significant amount of space at the top, almost 3 millimeters. So there's a little bit of extra space at the top. It does mean that there is more space between the top edge of the card and the opening of the sleeve, which is nice, but some of you will find the extra plastic that you can see at the top of the sleeves a little distracting. Okay, let's make sure that there are 100 sleeves here. Ready? That is exactly 100 sleeves. Alright, now we're going to do the sleeve test. I'm going to sleeve these 45 Eldritch Horror Mythos cards in 45 of these 100 sleeves and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Alright, it took 2 minutes and 13 seconds to sleeve these 45 cards, and that is approximately 2.96 seconds per card sleeved, which is somewhere in the middle of the pack. Now that the cards are all sleeved, let's take a look at the sleeves. It looks like the sleeves are pretty uniform. The width of the sleeves all seem even, as do the heights, so that is nice. There is some very slight variance that you can feel if you're running your fingers across the top of the sleeves, but it is really minute, and for the most part you can't tell if you look at the sleeves that there is any variance at all. There doesn't seem to be any inconsistencies in terms of the overall production quality, so that is also a very positive note when it comes to these sleeves. And now let's go ahead and perform the shuffle test. I will shuffle these sleeved cards 100 times and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Okay, it took 1 minute and 50 seconds to shuffle these cards 100 times, and that is the very fast speed of 1.10 seconds per sleeve. It's not the fastest, but it is a consistently fast speed, and I could tell from shuffling these cards that they really slide well into each other when you are having the deck and sliding them into each other. So that is a real positive for these sleeves, that they shuffle so well. The handling is a little bit uneven because of the sponginess of the tops of the cards, especially because there's all that extra space, and so the tops of the sleeves will often squish in as you hold them, and sometimes that means that it's possible that you won't exactly have a great grip on them, and so sometimes they'll fly out of your hands if you're not being attentive while you're shuffling, as happened to me. But even with those issues, the sleeves still shuffled pretty well, and there is no real bounce or rejection of a mash when you are shuffling, and that makes the sleeves quite a joy to shuffle for the most part. Now that I have handled the sleeves quite a bit, let's see how the sleeves held up. I suspect it might be because of the snugness of the fit, but all the corners were relatively untouched during the sleeving process, and so that is a real nice element of these sleeves. Another thing that I note is that the sleeves look pretty much as good as they did when they came out of the package, except some of the sleeves exhibited a few minor dents that you can see on the surface of the sleeve. I don't know if that happened specifically in this handling, but I am noticing it for the first time. So I am concerned that the long-term durability of these sleeves is a little bit affected, but for the most part, I think these sleeves are going to hold out fairly well to standard use. And as you can see, the sleeves are a matte surface, so it really takes a lot of light to create glare that makes it hard to read, but the sleeves look pretty nice under light. Now we're doing the shake test. I'm going to shake this deck for about 2 seconds and see how well these sleeved cards hold up. Ready, set, go. It barely budged, so that's a clear pass for the sleeve test. Now I'm going to do the draw test. I'm going to draw 3 cards off the top of this deck and see how well the deck holds up. It holds up just fine. There is a little bit of sliding, and you can tell that there is a little bit of an accordion effect when it comes to these sleeves, but because the size of the sleeve relative to the accordion effect is pretty large, it doesn't seem to be creating a problem when it comes to the drawing of cards from this deck. As I've mentioned, for Arcane Tinmen sleeves, they really fill a very specific niche that some of you are going to be very interested in, and that is the more matte surface of these sleeves. They're the only board game sleeves of this size that provide that kind of surface. At 5 cents per sleeve, they are in the middle of the pack in terms of cost, so that may be a concern for some of you, but if you want matte sleeves, these are kind of your only choice. The things that are good about these sleeves is that they are consistent and uniform outside of the package. They handle quite well, and their sleeving time is pretty average. And then the issue with the sleeves top edge and the extra plastic that is between the top edge of this card and the opening of the sleeve is something that's going to be a plus or a minus for you depending on whether you like the theoretical additional protection it provides to the top edges of your cards, or you dislike the aesthetics of the cards in that it really does make it apparent that there is a sleeve over your card. The other thing about these sleeves is that they're just a little bit thinner than your average thicker sleeve, and so you can really feel that when you are holding the sleeves, and they have a little bit more bounce and sponge to them when you are holding them at the top edge. So I would say that if you are in the market for matte sleeves, these are kind of your only choice. If you are looking for some good sleeves that handle really well, these are a great choice. If you have concerns about the aesthetics of having a lot of plastic at the top, then these sleeves probably aren't for you. And if you have concerns about the relative thickness of the sleeves and long-term durability as a result of that, then these sleeves might not be for you as well. The price is somewhere in the middle, and so you really can take it or leave it based on these specific qualities as they are important to you. Compared to all of the other sleeves that you can purchase for this size, I would say that these sleeves are right there in the middle because they are in the middle price range, so they can't be the most value-oriented sleeves, and they are also good performers, but the quality doesn't seem to be extra special. If you look at the sides of the sleeves, you can obviously tell that there is some differences between one sleeve to the other in terms of the overall manufacturing process. It's not the cleanest look. There are some random stray plastic hairs here and there. So these aren't like the most highest quality sleeves that you can get either. But again, they do provide that niche matte finish effect, and so they're going to be interesting to some of you regardless of how they compare to many of the other sleeves in terms of their general quality. If this video was helpful to you, hit the like button for me. If you'd like to see more such videos, hit subscribe. I have surveys in the description box below where if you have experience with these sleeves or any other sleeves that are American size, you can click on and share your experience in terms of their consistency and durability so that I can share that information on the Init Games' resource page. And thank you everybody for watching. This was Refresh, and I will see you next time.